5 ways that you're blocking your success in real estate. My name is Lauplantecoaching. I am a performance coach. Down in the description, you can find a link to a free discovery call with me if you guys want to chat further after you watch this video. There's also a link to sign up for a real estate course if you guys need it. It's the one I highly recommend. And as always, give this video a like, comment, subscribe so I can reach more viewers if this content is enjoyable for you at all. And I'll leave you with that. Let's get started. So the first success block that we're going to cover right now is perfectionism. Perfectionism is where you don't want to rock the boat. The ultimate, I'll do this when it's perfect, pretty much. You don't want to do something unless it's perfect. And that's stopping you from doing anything at all. So you don't want to rock the boat. You want to sit there, right there where you are. You're very good at what you do. You like it where it is. Ultimate comfort zone blockage. You're going to stay right in your comfort zone because it's perfect right there, right? So it's perfect right there in your little comfort zone that you've created for yourself, right? It's regimented, it's great, the routine is so regimented to the point where like you're gonna lose your shit if it gets thrown off at all. And that's the problem with perfectionism, is that it's too perfect. You can't vibrate with anybody else because your imperfections are actually the things that make you perfect. So why not embrace those? Why not step into the unknown a little bit? And why not open your mind and open your energy to more beautiful things to come? If you're stuck in your routine and you're stuck in your ways, you're never going to leave room for spontaneous things to happen, for beautiful things to happen, for anything to happen, because you can predict the next. What's the fun in that? My biggest successes were extremely spontaneous. Were out of the blue, dropped out of the sky because my schedule got thrown off or my routine hit a wall or whatever else. And a routine is important. I'm not saying that. I live by a routine. I have another video on a routine. You can check that out here. And it's when you get obsessed. When you get obsessed with anything is when you start to lose your soul. When you start to lose any passion for it. When the effort starts being put more on the routine itself than the flow within yourself, in your business, and in your life. So, my perfectionists, open up. Release that control. We don't want to be so controlling of our lives. Life is beautiful, and you're never gonna hit a wall to the point where you just can't get back up, right? You're always gonna pick yourself back up, but that's the point. Let yourself fail, try again, fail, try again, succeed, do it all again. That's what we're here to do. Number 2, this is my top blockage. It's people pleasing. Everybody has their top blockages. I've got a little bit of all of these in me, but people pleasing, oof, I still do it. And that's when we give other people the rights to our life. We make ourselves overly available because we want them to be able to have a say at all times. We don't want them to be mad at us, right? That's the thing. We're deathly afraid of people not liking us. We're deathly afraid of conflict. We don't want any conflict. We would hate to see that anybody dislike us or say anything bad about us. We want to be loved by everybody. Fact of the matter is that not everybody's gonna vibe with you. Not everybody's gonna like you. Not everybody's going to get on board with all the stuff that you want to do, but that's what makes everybody unique and different. I do not share the same opinions with some people, but the thing is, as long as you emit like kindness and support, and that's the main thing. I had to learn to just give love and support. I don't need to do everything for everybody. I don't need to pick up everybody else's pieces because then I forget to pick up mine. So I took the back seat of my life for a long time because I gave people the right to live my life for me. I let people make decisions for me because I allowed them to, because I was just trying to please them. All the while, I wasn't pleasing myself. So people pleasing it's a silent killer. It'll totally ruin your life. It'll ruin your life, it'll ruin your career if you let other people depict the direction of where your life is going. Nobody said you had to be mean to say no. There's a real powerful thing in saying no to people. And it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And people pleasing leads to resentment towards others, right? I agreed to this, but I don't really want to do it, so now I'm going to be mad at them for it. It's like, well, that was your fault, right? So if we can eliminate that whole process, it'll actually open up more time in our life to focusing on us, our business, succeeding, and all of those good things. And when I decided to strip that away is when I started making massive changes in my life. Massive action, making way more money, being way more successful, being way more happy, well-rounded, and just holistically incredible. So people pleasers, put up some boundaries. Put up some walls around that. Start to set boundaries with yourself first. I'm going to do X whenever this situation arises. I'm going to stop and say, let me get back to you, rather than jumping to say yes just to please somebody straight away every time. It's okay to say, let me think about it. 3, fear of failure. Fear of failure kind of stems from fear of rejection. We don't want to be rejected. If you guys are afraid to cold call, or if you guys are afraid to approach people, you're probably afraid to fail in whatever conversation you're about to have. You think you're going to choke up, you're not going to be able to chat with them or get what you want out of it, rather than just having a conversation with somebody. You're so focused on the failure that you forget that it's just a conversation. You're also afraid of other people's judgments. You're afraid that other people are going to judge you, that people aren't going to see you in the light that you want them to, when in reality, that's all on them, right? Because if you think about it, how often do you go up to people and how much do you judge? And if you do judge a lot, that's something you need to handle too, because you're only going to attract that energy yourself. But truthfully, really nobody cares that much. Having a fear of others' judgments just gives other people control over you. You allow them to judge you. But if you know enough about yourself and where you stand, and that you're going to fail and that's okay, you're going to pick yourself back up, then you hold the power and control. There's no reason we should be afraid to fail. We should actually embrace failure as much as we possibly can, because that's the cycle of growth. That is how we get places. We have to fail. But if you are afraid to fail and don't let yourself fail, you fall right back into your comfort zone with the perfectionists. You don't want to go there. It's a black hole. We know that. And then you got to crawl out again and again. Let's move towards something. Let's allow ourselves to fail. And a failure is only a failure if you don't take the lesson out of it. Don't see it as a failure. See it as a lesson. Every single step we take is a lesson. Every single scenario we are in. Ask why. What could I have done differently? Why did that happen? What can I do to be better? And that's when you'll start seeing the changes in your life. That's when you start to embrace that failure. That's when you start taking massive action and seeing massive growth. It's like, whoa, what have I been doing this whole time? So look for the lesson. And get past that fear of rejection. Get past that fear of judgment, because this is your life and it's time to start taking control of your direction and where you're going. Forget everybody else. They can either come with you or get out of your way. Anything holding you back needs to be left behind. 5. This one's huge. I'm going to put these two together, self-worth and self-confidence. This one runs deeper than most people think. This one you really have to dig to find. Lack of self-confidence is actually more so in the action, whereas like you take an action and then you gain more confidence and then to take the next action, the next action, and the next action, right? We become more and more confident. Self-worth is more of that inner knowing that you're worth what it is that you desire, right? And when we don't have a high self-worth, a lot of us tend to take on too many projects and we can't seem to execute right? So we put our hands in too many pots and we're everywhere. We're all over the place rather than knowing I can focus on one thing and meet my goal of making $1 million. I only need to focus on one. But instead I focus on 20 because the execution becomes tough because deep down, I'm not sure I'm worth that execution. I'm not sure I'm worth that $1 million. And you could say it to yourself over and over and over again. I want to be a millionaire. I'm worth $1 million. I deserve it. But it's the inner deep knowing. And if you find yourself doing things that impede you from executing on one thing that's really going to make you successful, then you need to ask yourself deeper. Do I feel worth it? And where would that have come from? And why? Being able to get to a place requires you knowing that you can deep down inside of you. People do it all the time, and you gotta wonder what sets this person aside from the next. And in many cases, it's things like self-worth that will just hold the people back that have so much potential. So dig a little deeper. Ask yourself, do I self-sabotage the good things in my life? Whether that be your love life, whether that be health, whether that be your career, anything. Do you sabotage it with something else because you're not really worth all of the good benefits? You're not really worth the fantastic outcome. Fear of success is really something that plays a big role here. Why would you be afraid to be so successful? But it's a real thing. Because when you're successful, that means that you mean something. And for some reason, you can't believe that. So the inner work is just so necessary. And when we don't know why we're not getting from point A to point B and meeting our goals, it's time to start looking within ourselves to figure out what is it that I'm missing. What are the blocks in front of this entrance that I can go towards success? Why am I hitting these blocks? Why am I stuck in the same place? Why can't I make decisions to move forward? All of these blockages, they play a role in our life. All of them will impede us from getting somewhere if we let it. You just have to figure out what they are. You have to discover the blockage. You have to understand the blockage. You have to put in practices to change the blockage, and then you have to grow in the direction. And that's when you form the business plan. That's the whole summary of my coaching. That's how we do it. Session after session after session. You have to discover what it is that's in your way. Sometimes we can't see it. Sometimes we need a little extra support. And that's okay. That's why we're here on this earth together, to collaborate and to work together and to learn from one another. So figure that out for yourself. Invest in yourself. Take the time. Read the books. Get support. Get some help. The best thing I ever did was invest in myself in order to make more money later. I talk about that in my real estate journey video, and you'll really get the full scope. And once you understand yourself, you're off and running on your own. You know how to put the practices in place. You know how to troubleshoot those issues within yourself. You don't need to ask any more questions. You already know what it is. But when you can't see a clear vision and get there, there's a reason why. So start thinking about it. And I want to know in the comments what it is that your blockages might be. Give this video a like, subscribe to my channel so I can reach more people if you enjoy my content, and good luck.